If someone asks you, what car has the most amount of screen time in a movie or TV series, what would you answer? DeLorean from Back to the Future or all Aston Martins from Bond movies? I decided to dive into this question and build a car from Lego based on the answer, and after some research, I was ready. Why this car? Even if it didn't have a lot of lead roles, it's not that easy to name a movie or TV series where it wasn't been featured. For this time I wanted to take a rest from my usual complex designs and make something simple and more builder friendly. This is why I chose to use the standard Speed Champions layout, which often used in official LEGO sets. Apart from making my job easier, this simple approach for this design wasn't random. I had a pretty interesting idea at the time, which I explain later. Front of the car was also made as simple as possible, but it also allows for some simple customization. By just removing this chunk of the front bumper, you can easily disconnect the ram bar and attach it this way to remove it from the car, without disconnecting the parts and risking to lose them to the bin. Interior is also a pretty simple part of this car, again for the sake of this project's main idea. After that I moved to the rear of the car. This part is a bit more complex, because even with simplification I wanted to include all the main features of the car, so it would be recognized easier. So this is what I came up with. Those G-slopes are always come in handy when building such shapes, and I'm pretty happy with how clean this part turned out. Now it's time to add the greenhouse, for which I decided to use windscreen pieces instead of using bars or claw pieces to portray the glass and pillars. This actually been a bit of a pain to choose the right windscreen piece for the rear, and I tried several variants before I finally stopped with this one. Now we're gonna add some finishing touches and the model is finished. So here is it. I'm really proud of how clean it turned out, but let's see what does it have. It fits only 2 minifigures, because the rear is a bit obstructed by this windshield piece. Had to do a small sacrifice here, because all other variants were just too bad. Other than that, car is a nice base for customizations. You can easily add antennas, license plate scanners, or for example searchlights, without fully rebuilding the car to attach any modifications. The only minor issue is that the doors are a bit wiggly, but they won't fall off easily, I guarantee that. You also maybe have noticed that this build doesn't use any expensive or fancy parts such as these nodes or a lot of different brackets, for example, and I'll tell you why. So here's my idea for this build. Because LEGO isn't a cheap hobby, and considering all my older mugs were like $60 or $70 to build them, I made this one as cheap as possible. To be exact, I paid $20 for this car, for all the parts including shipping, so it's even cheaper than the Speed Champion sets. That's why I also bought parts for extra 2 cars to expand my collection even further. So buying parts to build a fleet of police cars wouldn't be such a big problem for your wallet, especially when the instructions are already available for free in PDF format on my Rebrickable page. So just go straight to this video's descriptions to get them now for free without any extra payments. And this is what I have for today. Hope to see your next video and hope the next model will be as interesting as this one. Have fun!